Hi, welcome to UnderSound's first podcast. Today I'm joined by
Lucy Trott.
Mia Weatherall.
Chloe Burton.
and me, Leah.
So, Lucy.
Hello.
Got a couple questions for you.
All right.
How long have you been in this industry?
I have been in this industry for like 4 years now, I want to say. I started basically DJing like 4 years ago, and then I've been doing like gigs and stuff for about 3 years now.
Did you do it alongside your studies?
Yeah, just for fun.
Was Helch your first?
No, so I don't even know what I did first. Like random clubs, like most of Bournemouth clubs.
Yeah.
I think the only one I haven't done now is Cameo, and I don't think I want to. But yeah, no, just around the towns.
What made you realise that this was something that you wanted to do?
Oh, I don't actually know. I think this is going to sound so funny. I've always wanted to like perform, but I've never known what, because obviously I don't sing, I don't like dance. And then I was like, I love music. Wouldn't it be fun to just play music to people? And you get paid for dancing for like 7 hours.
And it is so good, like what you do is so good. Why CNTY? Why is it spelt like that, and what's the origin?
Well, so I actually started it on like as a Spotify playlist. So it was called If I Ever Had a Cunty Club Night. And I was like, that's quite a good name actually. But then I thought, I'm never going to get gigs if I'm called Cunty. Like, no one's going to hire me. They're going to be like, that's not okay. So I just thought, drop the U, CNTY. And then I thought, well, I'm yet to come up with an acronym, because I'm just going to like blag it like CNTY stands for something. But I still don't know what. That was kind of the origins. But like, I made it because Bournemouth club scene is so either like D&B and then like men. I don't know. I feel like my experience of my 4 years of uni was going to Cameo with my friends and being deeply unhappy. Like, I want to go like with my gals and the gays and just like have a party. But then the only gay clubs were like DYMK. Yeah. Well, I love a bit of DYMK, don't get me wrong. But it's like, it is full of middle-aged people. Yeah. It's not quite the demographic that I wanted to be partying with. Bournemouth needed something, and I was like, why don't I just do it?
I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. Like, actually, the exact vibe that I want.
It's really fun. It is just like a good vibe.
And I feel so safe in there.
That's the thing. The other day, we did the event, and then we were like, why don't we go to Spoons afterwards? So we went to Mary Shelley for like an hour, and I was like, oh, you could just like feel the vibe change, and there was like men coming up to us. I like got used to it being a safe space, and then I went out of it. I was like, oh, I forgot this was what it was like. I was like, danger.
I put lids on my cups in every case,
Yeah.
but at Helch I just genuinely don't feel like I need to. Yeah, good vibes.
How does the student life in Bournemouth compare to London?
I didn't really go out much when I was in London. So I was in London for a year, and like
Not once.
I went out maybe like 5 times. So I feel like there's a lot more going on in London. So you can like cherry pick the vibe you want to feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like Wednesdays are Cameo sport night. Like,
I guess there's loads more options in London.
exactly. You can kind of be more like, here's the clubs that are good for me. I guess it is also just finding them, because sometimes it's so saturated that you're like, I don't know where's like a good place to go.
Yeah, but once you know, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like the DJing community supports women? And if not, what would you say it could improve on?
I feel like it's very male. It's so male, and you feel it. And then sometimes even, this is going to sound, I feel like sometimes some of the females are like, they play into that male space to feel like they're accepted, which is, obviously I don't blame them, but it also feels a bit like then when you meet women in the industry, you're like, it's the same. I don't know, some, not all, obviously.
Do you sometimes like feel the pressure to have to like play into it?
A little bit, but sometimes I just get annoyed, and I'm like, ugh. Especially say if you're playing a set and then there's like, you know, you have like sometimes like people in the background, so either people who have played before you or after you, and then it's kind of like they start touching the decks when you're doing things, and it's like, I'm mixing, please, like stop it. I don't know, it's kind of like they just feel like they always need to insert themselves. But obviously some people are lovely. I'm not talking about everyone. But it's just like a feeling of, I don't know.
How do you think they could, like, this could get eradicated? Like, this could change? Like, do you reckon it ever could or no?
I think it could. I think it's better in places like London. Yeah. I think in Bournemouth and like smaller places like here, it's very male-centric. But maybe because there's not many opportunities for like women. I don't know. I feel like in London there's like workshops and stuff going on that I used to hear about. But here, I don't know. It's not as poppin'. I feel like there's loads of like D&B DJs and like I don't know.
I feel like in London, a lot of like the places that do these events were built on the foundations of women.
Mhm.
Like they created those
Yeah.
spaces, so then they feel more like empowered in those
Mhm.
spaces as well.
100%.
Whereas like a lot of the club scenes here
Mhm.
are created by like male.
That's very true. Like a lot of promoters and managers and all the people that craft it, like you say, yeah, that's so true. Kind of, I think, probably have an unconscious bias towards male DJs. Like, you know, if they realise it or not, I feel like you're not really going to get taken as serious. Like, some people are surprised when I can actually DJ because I'm a woman. And I'm like, girl, this is my job.
It's like when we went to Suddenly Funk, like they were all guys that we interviewed.
There's one girl, I think, that does Suddenly Funk. I've messaged them and been like, because I used to do funk and house. That was like my thing. And I was like, hi, put me on the lineup. But, no.
What would you say like your biggest challenges are?
I feel like maybe what I just covered, but also like getting gigs is a bit harder. But then when you're your own, because I kind of run my own shop, so like I can get gigs as the brand rather than myself. Like when I used to be myself and trying to get gigs, it was a lot harder than having cunty and getting gigs because it's kind of like it's got its own following. I feel like branding yourself is so much harder as a female in the industry because you're just not like, I don't know, you just feel inferior. Like I don't know what it is. Like even I didn't have confidence in myself, but because I feel like external factors were telling me not to.
Yeah.
When did you start the brand?
Like 3 months ago,
What?
like 4.
That's so recent.
I feel like I've been seeing it online forever. What the hell?
Thanks, guys. But yeah, no, it's been like 4 months now. I was literally on the train. I was like, should I just make an Instagram and get this started? I was like, oh, yeah. I was listening to the playlist I made and I was like, let's just do it. Yeah.
How did you land like Helch? Like how was that?
Helch messaged me. I'd like put my coming soon posts up. So I started with like a triptych of like Kim and Charlie and like a logo. And then just the classic marketing ploy of follow everyone and then they'll follow you back. And then what happened? And then they messaged me and were like, do you want to fancy doing your first event here? And I was like, actually, yeah, I would. That's quite a nice space.
Would you want to do it like full time?
I'd love to. I don't know if it's viable. Like, I like to have a bit of security, but that's just a personal thing. Like, I feel like I've also got a salaried job, which means that I have money coming in. Sometimes, say, if you don't sell enough tickets, like, it's a bit variable with income. But I'd love to. If I was making enough, I'd be like, yeah.
If someone wanted to get into the industry and asked you for advice, what would you say?
Literally, someone told me once, and it was quite a simple idea. I sound like I'm like, someone told me. But they were literally like, just start something. Even if you make an Instagram page or like, even if you just like do the first bit, it sets you off. Do you know what I mean? Like if you've just got a thought and you're just kind of like pondering it and you're like, this is the thought. And like, it just continues and you're like, there's too much to do to start up. And you just kind of like stop yourself in your tracks. If you just do the first bit, then kind of things start to fall into place and you start saying yes to other things and then it just kind of like happens. But like getting into DJing, even if you like go to a studio and hire it for like, I think it's like 20 quid. There's this place called Kaleidoscope in Bournemouth where you literally hire decks for an hour. Even if you just like download some songs on a USB, put it in and just like have a go. And if you love it, I think you can get like beginner decks for like £80. I know that's still quite expensive, but you can always sell them on if you hate it. And just like practice in your bedroom, be a bedroom DJ for like a year, and then be like, I can do this to some venues, and then just do it.
How long have you actually been DJing for?
When I was 19, I bought decks. I wanted to for a while, and I was like saving up, and I was like, I went on Gumtree, and there was some decks, and I was like, let's just do it. It was quite fun. I started with house because that's one of the easiest things to kind of do. And then yeah, I do a bit of garage. I actually do quite a few genres, but like on my own. Sometimes I'm not mixing. Like I am mixing, obviously, but it is just a case of put on the next song because commercial is hard to mix because it's not like the beats. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're not, I don't know, it's just harder to do. And sometimes I'm just sat there like, next song.
You look like you're having a good time.
Sometimes I'm having a great time. And that's when I'm like mixing properly. You can tell when I'm like mixing because I'll be like really concentrating. But yeah, no, it's a good vibe.
What's your like favourite genre to play?
I do like speedy garage.
Oh.
Speed garage is so fun. Like it's like 140, it's like 160 I think. So it's real fast. It's not like D&B fast, but it's like just under.
It's like in the middle.
Yeah, and it's so fun. It's just, and I wish I could do it more.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the old fire station event that's coming?
On the 21st of November. No, let me explain it first before I do that hard sell. But like basically at Helch, we play the classics, like the club classics. Bit of Charlie, bit of Troy, bit of everything. And it's kind of like I mix a bit, and it's kind of like good pop vibes. I feel like with the rave, it's going to go a bit more like boiler room, gay boiler room. I feel like in Bournemouth, there's a lot of like, you can go to a house night or you can go to a techno night, and all these straight boys are like, yeah, let's go. And they're all there like, love my bro. I don't know. And it's just not the environment that women want to be around. But with this, I'm hoping like, it's like a rave for the girlies. It's kind of like the vibe I want to go with, like even if it's not like the girly gays, like just the girlies as well. Yeah. Like I just want the girls together and have a fun little rave where it's like bit Charlie XCX, a bit boiler room. It's like Rebecca Black when she did her boiler room. I don't know if you've seen it. Loved her. And that's kind of the vibe I want to go for. So if you want to come along on the 21st of November.
I want to say thank you because I know you guys are both very busy people, and so I'm really grateful that you've taken the time out to actually come do this podcast.
Of course.
Bye. Tune in next week to UnderSound podcast.